I am a courageous leader. I didn't know that I was a courageous leader. It's nothing I thought I would ever say, and probably something I'm not just going to run out and run around and scream to the top of my lungs, because part of leadership is completely being humble. And but today is not the time to be humble. Today is this time to um, get through as much material and as many things as I can share with you as possible. Um, no one starts out wanting to be a leader. It happens kind of, for me, it happened through having vision, imagination, using creativity, collaborating, and actually doing the work. And sometimes when you're out doing the work, you don't identify with, oh, I'm leading this. I'm just out doing it. And someone asked, like, how do you get people motivated? Well, part of that is you're so motivated yourself, it's really hard for them to say no or not to be involved. My background is pretty simple. Grew up on a farm. I thought I would retire as a teacher. That isn't what happened. Like Dr. Corey had said, I left teaching. I started doing some community activism in 2016, helped with our Main Street, helped develop a lot of programs. I became an award-winning grant writer, earned a lot of, I didn't earn money, but I mean, grants were awarded for pretty large-scale community projects. And it was a great amount of fun, and it brings people together. It helps make the community very unique. And I like to embrace the uniqueness within the community. But everything is a heavy lift. No matter what you're doing, there's going to be people that don't want you doing it all the time. And something as beautiful as celebrating Sojourner Truth, there was a little bit of pushback, not because of the subject matter, but do you really want to have a sculpture there? Do you, and oh, we don't, I mean, there's always those people, but when you find that people don't want to play with you in the sandbox, you go find other people to play with. That's it. You have your vision, you have your mission, you have what you want to do. Go find the people that want to do it with you. Other things, I mean, I helped develop an early learning center in our community. But and some of these things, I helped develop arts, like organizations, and sometimes politics play a part. You're not intended to serve there forever. Sometimes your leadership is helping on an entrepreneurial scale, where you're helping things get established, and then you're kind of like step away. Don't plan on being at the same place forever or doing the same thing forever, even though at the time you think it's going to be forever. And when it's not forever, don't spend too much time mourning the loss, because it will help project you into your journey of what you're supposed to be doing, which I finally feel I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm 50. So all these things leading up to this and all the failures, all the successes have helped me become who I am today and in what I'm doing. So, my dream was to have arts accessible to children regardless of economic background. We want children to have have access to these things. So, getting back to courageous leadership. When I was asked to talk about courageous leadership and community conversations, change conversations, I literally had to, oh, what is that exactly? And then I realized, oh, well, these are the things I do. I'm here because I'm out doing the things. So I'm happy to talk about them. I did ask myself, like, what am I doing as a leader? And that was a really hard ask, because I'd never thought about it. And I realized it's imagination that drives me. It's I can imagine what I want to have happen. I can imagine it. I dream it. And then I use creativity to help me navigate how to get there. And I use the best practice of courageous leadership as a practice. So I'm always leading with integrity. Everything I do has integrity. If it's not the right thing, we don't do it. If I step on some toes, it's okay. If a couple people get upset, it's okay. And that's just how you have to do it. And you need to make decisions fairly quickly. You can't vacillate back and forth. If you make a decision that doesn't work, you have to be the first to say, you know what, I made that decision. And at the time I thought it was the right decision, but it's okay to be wrong. Be the first one to say I screwed up, you know? And then you have to think about probability, right? Those that do will make mistakes. Those that don't do don't make any mistakes. So the more you're doing, the more opportunity there is for things to go wrong. So you need to embrace that. I'm going to go through some things that I wrote down. You know, number one, have no fear. Uh, don't indulge in others' opinions of you when what you're, if you have a mission, don't let other people get in the way of what you're wanting to do because it's not their place. So just keep at it, okay? Surround yourself with excellence and be excellent. Seek out those that are excellent people because you can't have anything else in your life. You can't have anything else around you that's going to pull you down so you can't achieve the goals you want to have. Now, I'm not saying, when I say look for excellence, I'm also kindness. You don't want to be around people that are unkind ever, because that's not going to help you be a happy, healthy person. Be non-judgmental and approachable, be accessible to everyone. You don't want people afraid to talk to you. Have tenacity, do not give up. I mean, there's going to be people that want you to give up. Don't do it. Think of long-term planning for what you're leading. Is it think out 5, 10, 15, 50 years, 100 years. Don't think, oh, just next year. Think really big picture. Sustainability, here you're leading these things. After you're done leading, what's coming next? Who's going to take your spot once you're gone or something happens to you? What's the succession plan for that vision to keep moving forward? Don't wait for others to approve. I think we touched on that. You have to, again, know what you want, be confident with the vision and very clear with whatever that is. Again, embrace the failure, be responsible and accountable. Yes, I did it. Yes, I didn't do it. I haven't done it. I will do it. Hold yourself to those accountability and gracefully help those around you also be accountable. Delegate when you can. I have someone writing 55 thank you notes as we speak, and find out what people like to do and then try to plug them into your leadership and what you're trying to accomplish. So if somebody, hey, what I like to write, okay, we'll get that person writing. Somebody else likes numbers. Hey, would you like to be involved with the finance? Get those, find those people, find what they like to do and get them doing what they enjoy doing, because the chances of them staying doing it is stronger if they like it to begin with. There is no perfect. Don't try to find it. Don't hold yourself to it. And don't hold someone else to a higher standard you yourself cannot achieve. Lead by example every day, but you also have to have boundaries. And none of these are in any specific order. They're just the things. Just like in your personal life, with your leadership life, if there's something toxic, if there's someone who's toxic or harmful to the vision or mission of what you're leading, it can't be part of what's happening. So, and there's ways to deal with that. The right thing is always to deal with it. Don't avoid it. Hit it head on. And the right thing, doing the right thing, lots of times, it's the right thing when it is uncomfortable and it's a little messy and someone's upset. Well, I'm sorry, but you told a kid they had no talent and you shouldn't be here. Well, this parent, no, you cannot be around other children. You can't be around children. So look for abusers and get them away from your mission. Watch out for disruptors and distractions. I mean, there's people that want to try to sabotage anything anyone's doing anytime, ever, anywhere. So those people are around in every community. Try to just stay away from them or get them distracted on something else. Be direct. Tell people what you want. Don't wait and just think, oh, maybe they'll get my hints. No, they don't get their hint. Then they don't have time to waste either. So tell them what you want. Tell them what the needs are and move forward. Keep abreast of your colleagues and organizations in which you collaborate. So be aware of what other people are doing and what other organizations are doing. Maybe they're not in alignment for you to collaborate at the moment, but maybe they will be sometime. When you meet with people or organizations, always in talking to them, be envisioning their successes and help them achieve their goals, even if it's not going to help you directly. So you have to be very unselfish in your pursuits. And when you're engaging with others, you need to help them. And how can I help you? And it opens a lot of doors. And you can't be helping people thinking there'll be a door open someday, and you can't expect anything in return, but you never know. So always give of time and help others. Again, don't have doubts. Everyone has value and everyone is to be respected. I don't care if it's a recovering person on the street or someone who is a billionaire. You treat them with the same level of respect. Be flexible and adaptable to situations and people. Things change, people change, situations change. Be the yes. It is not your job to kill anyone's dream. I have met with people and they literally, I've shared something I want to do. Well, what do you think of this? And they're like, no, that's awful. They don't say it's awful, but why would you do that? Okay, well, there's always going to be people that are like that. Don't be like that. When somebody shares something with you that they want to achieve, try to help them achieve it, or help them get the resources that they can use or tap into to help them realize what they're wanting to go after. So don't keep anybody down and don't be the no. Ask questions. When we talk about vulnerability, asking other people questions is really valuable because it puts them in the lead of the conversation. So even though you're the leader, if other people want to engage, you step away and let it happen. You're kind of facilitating and just taking copious notes in your head. And you just can't think about yourself, but you need to take care of yourself because you can't help others if you are not taking good care of you. Always lead by grace. I did run for mayor, and I don't know if I mentioned that. I was the first woman to run for mayor. I was not successful, but it did take a lot of courage to run for mayor. And then after defeat, it took grace. And you always have to lead with grace. If someone walks into a meeting and shouts to you, no one likes you, which that happened to me. And I didn't know this person. So you also have to keep in mind who's saying the things, or where's this coming from? And 99.9% of the time, it has nothing to do with you. So just know people are going to lash out and just let it ride because it's not you. You just keep on with your mission. Humor is important. I like to laugh and have fun and have a good time. And I want others to enjoy themselves. And when you are doing something, make sure it's a good mission. I think helping children, it's an easy sell. So killing all the fish in the Atlantic Ocean, no, that wouldn't work. Use data and surveys for feedback. Data can almost give you an answer if something's going to be successful before you even try. There was a 2-year study in our community and our county, above all else, wanted arts and culture. So the initiatives that I helped with, whether it was a sculpture tour, beautifying a park, installing murals, or the Sojourner Truth project, or the arts nonprofit, or now the performing arts nonprofit, it's all been a wanted thing. So going in, I had data that told me this is what some people want. It is a community need. Celebrate others' successes. Don't think of anything as a competition in community situations. When you are successfully leading, kind of know that you're intimidating. You don't want to be intimidating, but know others have given you power, okay? But never use it. Don't ever use it to influence or intimidate on any level. You use resources and you collaborate together. And, you know, always be humble, use humility. No one is better than anyone else. Apologize and be okay when you don't know the answers. You'll find out the answers, or you'll work together to get the answers. Always do the right thing. There's always going to be people that don't support, but when they say no, don't think of it as a no. In your mind, think of it as a not yet. So, and there's been multiple times where people have told me no, absolutely not. And then they're like loyal and they're into it, and it's all good stuff. It just takes them a while sometimes to come around. So when the initial is a no, just think in your mind, okay, they just need a little more time. Seek out professional education and continuing professional development for yourselves. I think it's really, really important. So of all those things, with everything you do every day, you know, best practice is following courageous leadership, and you must think of your integrity, because that is all you have, is your integrity. It's super hard to gain and build. It's really easy to lose. So throughout your journey, you need to be protective of that, because your success will be easier if your reputation is excellent. If you're trusted and you trust others, it shouldn't be a super hard lift all the time. So integrity in everything you do every day, and have fun. I mean, really, have a good time. So with courageous leadership, so those are some other things that I think of when, how am I leading? You know, this really made me think about what am I doing? And a lot of it is I'm having I envision success before it happens. I envision how things are going to unfold. I envision people being involved in the process. I can envision how they can be part of it. So the more visualization you can use, the better. And then also I use creativity to make it all happen. You know, if this isn't working, creativity is really problem solving. And when this isn't happening, I got to figure out this other way. And because everything's new, you're doing something different, you have to use creativity to draw on. So, not, haha, that's a, anyways. So with courageous leadership, those are some approaches that I thought may be helpful to you. It should be about, okay, I think I'm good on time. All right, so the other aspect that we were going to talk about is leading community conversations. So this is not the easiest thing to do, but it's a must do. because you have to get in front of the audience you're trying to inspire to get on board and with your journey and your mission. So communication and making sure they know what's going on. Um, and I had to laugh. If you didn't see it before, there was a really cool thing on leadership where a guy was dancing wildly at a concert, and then another guy came and danced wildly at a concert, and then they kept coming. And that's kind of what leadership is. It's like, hey, I'm out doing this thing and trying to get other people to come do the thing with you. And it's but you have to communicate what's happening first. You can't do all of this by yourself in a bubble in your room. So leading community conversations. Again, I default to I thought community conversations, I didn't really know what that was. Leading community conversations for change. So I had to go look it up. And then I realized, oh, I know why I'm here. I do these things all the time. And I am a community advocate. So I've hosted community conversations on everything from early learning to um, your digestive system and how, I helped with that. And we had a panel of gastroenterologists talking about things. And now you didn't have to, that wasn't like live questions. We put them on a note and then we drew them out and said them. So no one were to be embarrassed. So there's also different ways to do different types of community things based on the content and who your audience is and your goals. So, and I had one on, I was approached by someone who said your sexual assaults are probably not being reported in your county. Can you help us raise awareness? Because based on your numbers, what can you do to help us? So through Rotary, I set up a luncheon. We had 65 leaders come, and they were trained and they talked about it. There was a lot of awareness brought. It was open to the public. But when you're doing community change type things like that, you need to make sure that your message doesn't stop with your meeting. You need to make sure that you have people in that community conversation that don't stop the conversation when the meeting's over. They go back to their organizations. And I'll use this, the win for the sexual assault awareness and sex abuse was I made sure our Little League officers were there and they listened to the message and they went back. And when they had the training for the coaches, they made sure those coaches knew what to listen for coming from all the children. So that's what successful community conversations can help lead to. Okay, now that's a tiny example, and there's macro, there's all types of levels of trying to make change, but awareness is a huge one. And I'm not afraid to tackle things that are unglamorous, and I'm not afraid to help others with their message, even though I'm working on my own, which is the Angola Performing Arts Academy. I love to partner. It's the best thing because we can get way more done than we can as individuals if we partner together. So I personally didn't ever like talking in front of people. I was okay singing. My background is music, and I was a jazz singer. I actually toured the world singing. And so when I came back to a really small town and there's no jazz clubs, I was like, what do I do? I became a mother too. And so it was a lifestyle change. As far as civic engagement, my mom had been a school board member for 20 years and served on the state level, Indiana State School Board Association. So she was very engaged in school leadership. And as a child, I resented that very much. I didn't like it at all. And but here I'm doing it. And I imagine my children will do it, and they're kind of already doing it. So it's a good practice. So when you're having these community change meetings, make sure it's clear on who, what, why, when, where, how, and make sure you get the word out to the community. And there's different types of things you can do. You got meetings, forums, workshops, Zoom, discussion panels, conference calls, email threads, talking over coffee, or professional professional development. In a group, you can have conversations. When I'm looking at hosting, I look at the messaging and what we're trying to achieve. And then I backtrack on who really has to be there. Make sure those people are in place. And, of course, everything has to be open to the general public. Diversity needs to be represented as diverse as your community is. Nothing should be artificial or pushed, or everything needs to be authentic in every mission, everything you do. Have an outline for attendees. And when in your community conversations, you'll always have naysayers. You'll always have people that are indifferent. And you'll have potential community investors and partners in the audience. You'll have those that when you say your message are super excited about it. Those are also the same people that have a tendency to super fade out as soon as you get going. They just sort of disappear. They like the initial yay, rah, rah of it. And you have those that have zero interest. The ones that are a little more interesting are those that are indifferent. And you can get them on your side, and they have more of a tendency to be loyal long term. So their buy-in will have a lot more depth. So again, if they say no initially, it's just a no for now. And sometimes naysayers or people that are indifferent, it can be a lack of knowledge base. So you need to educate them more on what your mission is. It might not be confident. They might not be confident. I've had literally people say, I don't have anything to offer. And it's like, yes, you do. Yes, you do. So you're there to motivate and to empower every person you can. Some people are really cautious, so they don't have the courage. So help them with small tasks that they can achieve, so then they build those confidences. They may not be a visionary, and they can't imagine what you're talking about. So that's where visual aids are great. And unfortunately, I didn't have any today, but you need to have, it helps a lot of people who are not visionaries to see it on paper. So everyone's a different type of learner. You will have people in the audience that will think they can do better than you're doing, and just ignore those people. And there's a perception that people have no time. The truth is everyone has time. When you're creating agendas or activities, make sure it's open to creativity. I'm going to part with my favorite community conversations for change. And, I feel like I have been a catalyst in my community, a catalyst for change. There's been so much, and I see I've had a heavy hand in so much things, but there's more things to come, and it's okay. But one of my favorite things is I give them the prompt. If you could, if where you live could be anything you want it to be, if this community could be anything you want it to be, what is it? What does it look like? You can write about it, you can draw about it. I give them things, and I give them time. And so often, if there's surveys or ABCD answers, you're not getting to the cool stuff that's possible by already giving your community what you want. And when you're having these meetings, don't have a meeting when you've already made your decision. I've not done that, but there's been organizations that will have a meeting after the decision's been made to just say they've had community input, and that's not okay. So, shall we open it up to some discussion? Is there time?
I think
Hello?
I think that's a great idea. It takes me a minute.
Yes, okay, okay.
Before the discussion, can I just say that when I emerged in a community as a person who lived in a community when I was in my 20s, 24, 25, and starting having little people and things, I had no idea how to help people realize a vision, but I knew that I could ask a lot of questions and I knew I could kind of make some messes. And it took people like you, Colleen, to invite me and to say, you know what, I think you would be someone who might be interested in this. And and that's what it took for me to get involved in community work. And you and I have, our stories are so similar, the way we've just kind of, just kind of evolved in how we can help be catalysts for change. But I want to thank you for sharing all of these different insights that you've learned along the way, because those are things that as a 20-something-year-old, a couple years out of college, I didn't know, that now that we've been able to maybe stick them in some folks' backpacks, they have more insight, that they can be more confident in saying yes, because because every single person in a community has something that they can contribute.
Every single person. And I didn't have, I mean, I was always kind of confident, but like I think we said earlier, sometimes the younger you are, the more concerned you are with perception. And is this going to hurt my job? Is this going to keep me from doing something? Am I wearing the right dress? Or, maybe I shouldn't go because I've got a hole in my shoe, or, it's so try to get past worrying about this and get past what you're wanting to do, because this doesn't matter a whole lot. Does that make sense? I mean, yes, dress for success, but um, don't be insecure about who you are as an individual, inside or outside, and don't keep that from pursuing what you want to do. And don't be afraid to make connections. Don't be afraid to reach out, because I tell you, 99% of the adults I know love the youth. And we don't always do the best job in connecting with them, and we don't always know how to connect with them. If you're not directly involved with a school, it's a little more cumbersome on how to access the youth and young adults. Does that make sense? But believe you me, people my age, people older, they want you to be successful. They want you to achieve. They want to see you do great things. And you are all going to do awesome things, way better than we are. How exciting. Are there any questions? Who's Max or Patricia? Let's see, Ryan.
She's
You're
gonna
awake.
calling y'all out now.
Call you out. Joy Lynn. I did do something kind of fun. It was I went to Rotary and we were talking about the sculpture tour. So, keep in mind, Rotary at that time was 99% male and mostly retired, which now, after me being president, it's over half female.
Awesome.
Because, that's actually a representative of the population, right? So, um, I had to go in and I talked about the sculpture tour, and I knew engagement might be difficult. Um, so I brought them each a thing of Play-Doh. So they each had a jar of Play-Doh at their place. And then at the end of my talk, while I was doing my talk, they were supposed to create a sculpture with their Play-Doh. And at the end, we had a competition. And there were a couple guys that were back like this sitting, and they did not want to participate. But kind of like the wild dancing guys, they saw the other people having fun with it, and they reluctantly got involved. They had 100% participation with the Play-Doh sculpture. And it was just a lot of fun. Out of that, then one of them bought a sculpture for the community. So you just never know what will lead to something, and don't be afraid to, when you are presenting and having a community conversation, don't be afraid to do some silly stuff to try to get engagement.
Definitely breaks down barriers, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
This has been wonderful. Thank you so much for
Thank
spending
you.
time with us, for sharing your journey with us. And maybe, just maybe, we could come down and take a walk around Angola and see the sculptures and all of the art things, and maybe even take in a performance of the youth theater.
Well, I would love to give you all a tour. That would be so fun.
Awesome. Well, we will definitely stay in contact. Colleen, thank you for everything that you do for youth and for communities, and for helping us to envision joyful, courageous leadership.
Awesome. Hey, thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, you too. Bye-bye.